Hey guys, hopefully you are all doing well. Prime Collections here. Well, today we're going to be talking about a lot of looks at things that are going to be releasing soon, and in general, my personal thoughts on them. We have a list of ad icons that is fairly long. Disney came out swinging with a couple different things that they're releasing, as well as we got to look at some very cool stuff over at Shanghai Con, courtesy of Kai Hong 11. So let's not hesitate, let's not wait any longer. Let's get into the world of Funko today. Dipping into the pre-order smorgasbord that they gave us today with a lot of things being announced, we had to look at our first bit of things, and that's ad icons. And first of all, let's go ahead and talk about our fast food joints, as we have a birthday Ronald McDonald being shown off here. I believe this is the fifth variant of Ronald here, and I don't know why they keep releasing him. I understand he is iconic for McDonald's as a whole, but for me, I don't think that we necessarily needed another different variation. They've already had four, and I think this is overused, and for me, this is definitely a pass. Next up, we had the Hamburglar announced, and I thought that this was really well done because I don't think that they've done the Hamburglar before, so it is nice to see that another McDonald's character is being shown off here, a different mold, because that is what collecting is about, is getting varied in different pieces. However, one thing that I think would have been nice to see in this would have been a bag of hamburgers, because he's called the Hamburglar. And most of the time, if you see him in the commercials, he would be holding a bag of hamburgers. So that's my one gripe about this. I think this is very well done, but because I don't collect ad icons, this one's a pass as well. Next up, we had two variations of Eggo waffles being done here. And in general, I would have liked to see them just do one variation. You have your basic common Eggo figure here. It's holding a box of Eggo waffles, a fork, and it's got a smiley face with it like licking its lips. However, they also released a scented version where he's got a little bit of syrup up at the top, and it actually smells like syrup that is an Entertainment Earth exclusive. For me, there is no difference between these two, minus the syrup. And I think that what they did is they said, you know what, we can make more money off of this figure if we develop two variations of it. I think it's a cop-out. I don't think it should have been done. And for me, if I was going to pick one up, it would probably be the one with syrup. But as I said, I don't collect ad icons, so both of these are a pass as well. And rounding out that list, we actually have two that I think are probably the best of all of these. We have the original retro Chuck E. Cheese here holding a slice of pizza, I believe. And this is the classic 90s look of Chuck E. Cheese, where he had the purple hat, the purple t-shirt, the green shorts, and just in general was the one that you probably remember from those commercials. And I think this is a fair representation. I think this is really well done, and I don't believe they've done Chuck E. Cheese before, so this is a good choice. We also had a Blockbuster VHS tape holding popcorn that was announced as well. And if you remember Blockbuster, these cases are iconic. This was the 90s. This was a store that is no longer around, that when you would go into, you would see these cases always behind the movie cases, and it would be something that you would go ahead and rent at that time. So I think this is definitely the standout of the ad icons announcements, and if I did collect them, this would be the one that I would go for. And I think if you do collect them, this would be one that is the standout for me. Yeah, Blockbuster case is iconic, and I think they did a great job on this. Next up, Disney came out swinging with a little bit of an announcement of different pops throughout the day. So first of all, we had a Mickey Mouse disco cover. I actually don't know what this is from, whether this was a CD put out by Disney during like the 1970s to 1980s. For me, it's definitely a pass because I have no idea what it is, but I understand that they always try to do like retro stuff, and this definitely fits in that wheelhouse. And I think if you know what this will definitely be something that you'll want to collect, because you would understand where this came from. Me, I have no clue what this was, and like I would have to do some research on it to actually see what it was, but it was definitely interesting as a choice of a Funko Pop. Next up, we had Walt Disney holding a magazine. They've already done a Disney piece, which I think is better because he's holding Mickey Mouse and Dumbo in his hands, like the first versions of those. And I think that that would be the better choice. Plus, they have also had him, I believe, in one of their train lines as well. So it seems like they're starting to overuse Walt Disney here. And I think that that is something that I hate that they do, and I would definitely like to see them not use him as much because they've already released, so many different variations of him already. We also had a Lady and the Tramp movie poster, and I've always enjoyed the movie posters. I think they've done a great job because they're the classic first releases of those movie posters, the ones that you would only see at theaters and were from like that first initial release. With a lot of Disney movies, they would re-release them in theaters and you get these secondary posters, but to see them go back and actually capture these when they first went live is very cool. And to see the pops also done justice here as the movie poster is the background is really, really cool to see as well. And I think this one is definitely awesome. We also got a full announcement for Little Mermaid. That's that new Little Mermaid that's going to be releasing, I want to say either in May or June. We've got two versions of Ariel. We've got one where she's just in her dress standing on land, and the second one is the Diamond exclusive that is from Target. We also have King Triton here. We have Prince Eric, and we have Ursula. I figure we'll see different variations of these commons come out as the movie gets closer to its release date. So if you're a person who's considering picking up some of these, maybe see if they have different versions of these from the movie come out before jumping out and grabbing the commons, because 9 times out of 10 with Disney, they like to do that. We also have kind of like a setting piece here for Little Mermaid as well. That's like Ariel sitting on a rock. Seems like she's sitting next to Flounder, seems like she's sitting next to Scuttle, and it seems like she's sitting next to Sebastian here on the rock. So for me, this is a cool iconic piece because you could see this from the original as well as from the new one, but I've actually seen this in person and it's fairly decent size as well. So it's a good piece. I think it goes for about 30 bucks. So it's definitely the standout so far of this line. I think they did a good job on that. And next up, I definitely think the standout announcement of the day was kind of a link of stuff that was coming out from Shanghai Con. And I believe these are only available at or during Shanghai Con, which I want to say is April, maybe the end of or the beginning of May, coming up here pretty quickly. But all of these were very cool, and I want to thank Kaihong11 over on Twitter for actually showing these off, because these are very, very cool to talk about. And there are a few of them that are the Blacklight variation. So first of all, we have an Imperial Heroes The Flash Blacklight variation. That one is also followed by an Imperial Heroes Superman Blacklight variation and an Imperial Heroes Robin Blacklight variation. I think we've seen these in the past, and I love the armor sets on them, and the fact that they're Blacklight makes them stand out very uniquely, and I think that they've done a great job on these here, and they're very cool. Next up, we have another Blacklight variant, which is from Ron English, and it's Ronnie Rabbit Sunflower. We also have Pop Asia, which is a Sugar Circus, Screaming Clown, which is also a Blacklight variation. And then we have a Water Margin Lee, I think it's Kui, but I don't know for sure. These are very, very cool. I have no idea what they're from, but the one that stands out to me is the Screaming Clown. The multiple eyes, the multiple faces is something that's very, very intriguing as a piece in general, and it's very cool to see here. Then we have another Pop Asia few here. We have Pop Asia Water Margins Song Yang. We have Pop Asia Storybook Classics Lady White Snake. And we have Pop Asia Storybook Classics Lady Green Snake. It seems like these are from different tales throughout, maybe books that have released over in Asia. I'm not specifically sure. That's something I'll have to look into. But I think all of these pieces are very, very well done. Each one of them feels unique. Each one of them feels like it has different details, looks different, different colors. These are very cool. And so if you are attending Shanghai Con, make sure you go ahead and pick these up, because I'm assuming that's the only place you're going to be able to get them. And they are very unique and very cool. But yeah, guys, that's going to kind of do it for me today. I want to talk about the releases that I saw over the last couple days and my personal feelings on those. A lot of them I'm not going to be picking up myself personally. There were some good, there were some bad, and there were some not so great pieces in there. But in general, it's always cool to see what Funko is doing and what is right around the corner here. And let me know down in the comments below if there's anything that I've kind of talked about today that you're personally thinking about picking up, because I would love to hear about it. But thank you so much for sticking around through the entirety of the video. If you wouldn't mind, please liking this video and subscribing to my channel. It helps me out tremendously. And as always, I will see you guys later.